And we are back, and we welcome you back. The Xposure Foundation actually believes in exposing and equipping youth with financial, academic, and some life skills so they can live successful lives. Joining us now to share a little bit more about the organization, we welcome the founder, Raymond Thomas Jr., and he's here with us sharing. And Raymond, good to have you.
Hey, thanks.
Hey.
Happy to be here.
Good. Well, we talk about financial literacy, and you talk about financial literacy. A lot of adults struggle with financial literacy.
Definitely.
But you're trying to grab the bull by the horns by really getting the kids
Without a doubt.
at an early age.
Without a doubt. We're trying to get them, as young as daycare, right? But, we're in a lot of after-school programs, and, we run a lot of after-school programs. So we have the kindergarten through 8th set. So what we look to do is we look to take these young people on bank trips. First of all, before we take them on a bank trip, what we have to do is to expose them and in an age-appropriate way, teach them how banks make money. That's some exciting stuff when you teach them in a way that we do in our project-based learning way, and I'll get to that in a minute. But one of the things that we do is we involve the parents. So we say to the parents, you have to go and take these young people out, take them to a bank, whether it's a Chase, whether it's Capital One, whatever it is, whatever your bank is, open up a custodial savings account for that young person. Now what we do is, while we're teaching them these lessons about how banks make money and how to earn interest, we're also setting it up so that we take them on bank trips. So we provide the seed money, teach them how to fill out deposit slips and everything else. It's nothing more powerful than seeing a kindergarten student go up to a teller. Sometimes we gotta lift them up and they put the deposit slip on there, but those are the types of things that we do.
Reception, because I talk about this all the time, that sometimes they say young people aren't so apt to receive financial literacy. They like to spend, spend, spend.
Right.
I got a son, I know all about that.
Right.
And save, save, save is not always the first option. But obviously you're teaching savings, spending, and the whole 9 yards. What's the receptivity like between both the youth as well as their parents?
Well, see, one of the things that we do, and you just said it right there, spend, spend, spend. We actually have a song. We have music production, which is a part of our program, right? So you said spend, 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 right? So one of the things we have, spend, 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 or save, don't spend. Those are the types of songs that we create, right? So what we do is the reception is, from parents, basically sometimes they're a little leery because, hey, listen, you want to take my child to the bank. I have to open up a bank account. Do I have to give you, any of my personal information and things of that sort? So once we break down those barriers and they actually, take those bank trips, parents come with us sometimes, and parents actually see their young people, opening up the accounts that they've opened, actually depositing money in it. I mean, from there we have them. So what we do is we take probably about 4 of these bank trips a year. We don't stop there. We also expose them to the stock market. I heard you earlier talking about the stock market, and the stock market hitting new highs each and every day. But people of color, lots of times we don't sit around the dinner table and talk about the stock market, but we're teaching these young people in an age-appropriate way. Listen, what kid doesn't know the Nike symbol or McDonald's? So if we start exposing them to the logos and start talking about what these companies do, whether they're a service company, whether they're a product company, and actually getting the parents, again, to come in and open up a custodial investment account. We also provide the seed money for that. We've opened thousands of accounts for young people in our 10-year history, as it relates to bank accounts. And, probably about just as many when we talk about the investment accounts. And we're not stopping. One of the things, we just got nominated for 4 New York Emmy Awards. Just
Congratulations.
this year. Thank you. Last year we were nominated for our first for a video called Work Hard. It's a music video, financial literacy based. So basically they sort of power in what we are exposing these young people to at an early age. It's project-based learning. I talked about that, right? So instead of a child just singing about or acting about, saving or investing, the power of it is actually having them do it. So what happens is that acting is no longer acting. I'm it. I actually have a bank account. I actually have an investment account. So that's how we do it. It's the secret.
You got some programs going on. I want you to talk a little bit about the Xposure STEAM program. We hear about STEM, but you got STEAM.
Definitely. So, what we do is our programs, a variety of things. What we do is we teach music production. We teach film production, coding, broadcasting. We have some young people sitting there. One of our Emmy nominations is actually for a documentary our radio station did out in the town of Greenburgh in Westchester County. Sitting there, young people who sit around and have a weekly show called WXGB Radio. And basically these young people learned how to, watching people like you, how they should sit and how they should interview. So they did an interview called Whatever Happened to Black Wall Street, and interviewed 102-year-old Dr. Olivia Hooker, who is one of the last remaining survivors of Black Wall Street. And that was nominated for an Emmy. So when we talk about that, we talk about electronics, we talk about coding, everything that you can think of. What we want to do is hence the name Xposure, we want to expose these young people to these various disciplines and life skills.
How powerful is the exposure? I've read a good book that says my people perish for a lack of knowledge. I've said to people that people perish for a lack of exposure.
Yes, yes, that is so true. A lot of our young people don't know the talent that's within them. Think about this. One of the things that schools focus on a lot is reading and math. Those are important. But a lot of these kids don't know the other hidden talents that they have within them. So how are they going to know unless you or I expose them to film production? I'm looking around here and I see all the different roles and all the different jobs that go into putting this show together. People see you here and see you pulling it off nicely, but they don't know what's behind the scenes. There's a whole lot of people behind the scenes here, right? So we teach the young people about those types of jobs, when we're talking about broadcasting, when we're talking about film production. So for us, the exposure, that's the exposure, and that's the power in what we do.
Well, we certainly want people to take part in this. Now, who's eligible to participate? How do you get your young people involved? Somebody's watching right now and say, listen, how do I do this?
Well, simply have your school contact the Xposure Foundation. And I know you guys have our information there, but a lot of our programs are also funded by the city, Division of Youth and Community Development. So we have contracts there through the city council, and the mayor have made education a priority, and particularly middle school programs where we have a lot of our after school programs. We also have K through 5 after school programs as well. So anyone who wants to reach us, it's Xposure, no E at the beginning, schools.com. You see my phone number there, and basically reach out to us and set up a meeting, and we want to find out how we can get in your school.
We're getting ready to leave, but before we do, I want you to get an opportunity to tell us a little bit about these learning techniques that you use through music. Right. And kids are learning some things, and you're using music as the foundation.
Music is a huge part of what we do. So one of the two of the songs, one is called "If I Was President," and it's a fabulous song. So we got young people who have a voice. It's something that they want to say. So what we do is, lots of times kids don't like to write. But if I say to you, express your feelings and put it down on paper, and then we begin teaching them how to write a verse, how to put lyrics together, how to form the hook. Then we begin teaching them the production side of it. Then they start hearing this beat that they like to listen to, but they're putting it to their own to their own words. That's powerful. So, it's just one of those things. You have to see it in action.
Got to see it in action. Well, hopefully we'll bring you back, share a little bit more. We'll play the video, something like that, and we can see what you guys are doing in a more excellent way. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Raymond Thomas, he's the founder of Xposure Foundation Incorporated, and certainly you had the information at the bottom of the screen, and you might want to get in touch with him. Also want to let you know we are still talking music. We are making music in this next segment. Stay with us. We'll explain more when we return right after this.